makes about as much sense as giving a chimpanzee a typewriter and expecting him to prove Einstein's theory of relativity in iambic pentameter. That's David Davis Goes to Brussels, tomorrow evening at 7:45. But now on Radio 4, we cross live to the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in the Scottish town of Peebles for the annual Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla show from the Downright Homespun radio company. While over on Longwave, there's an extended edition of the shipping forecast.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
A warm welcome to one and all to the Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla Show, broadcasting live from the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. On stage is the DHRC House Band and our Royal Company of Radio Actors. Let's have a big cheer for our live studio audience in the house tonight. It's Friday night, the 1st of September 2017, and once again, our Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla Show is broadcasting live from the magnificent stage here at the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. The DHRC band is here and mostly in tune, and the Royal Company of Radio Actors is limbering up for another night of making it up as they go along. And loosely arranged over the seating in the auditorium is our audience of lucky ticket holders to tonight's show. Of course, our Sarsaparilla show is also being listened to around the world on FM, longwave, and digital downstream interweb upload data packet projection technology to our millions of listeners near and far. A special shout out to our sound engineer Victor over there in northern Guangdong province in southern China this evening. He's in charge of our fleet of drone-mounted transmitters, which translate the show into Cantonese and broadcast it simultaneously to remote mountain villages throughout the area. And tonight, for the first time, we're using the CERN Large Hadron Collider to accelerate the DHRC show to the speed of light and hurl it into space on a stream of neutrinos, just because we can. Here in the auditorium of the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles, home to the Downright Homespun radio company for over 113 years, there's palpable excitement about new plans to extend the theatre with new rehearsal rooms, technical suite and office spaces, all down to the runaway success of the DHRC's sellout shows. Unchanged will be this luxurious auditorium with its plush reclinable seating, comfortable wide aisles, waitress drink service and magnificent crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling, dating back from the 18th century. Thank goodness that comfort won't be affected by the changes. In our show tonight, we're heading down memory lane to hear old tannoy announcements from the Peebles Agricultural Show. Stay with me. Angus and Gordon will be dancing in the street and will be dropping in on a local private eye to see what's really going on Peebles High Street. Before all that, please welcome our DHRC house band on stage. Our house band is just back from a grueling tour of 5-star luxury hotels around the world, playing the same set of 16 songs that you've heard 100 times before. I don't know how they do it, or at least how they get away with it. They're on stage now with Little Sister.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nice to make you. Oh, yeah, little sister, don't you do what your big sister done? You know I dated your big sister. Took her to the show. Well, I came to Danny and I went out with some Danny and they stepped right out of the door. twice. Tell me that it's nicer than you. Run, yeah, big sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Every time I see your sister, oh, she's got somebody new. Well, she's mean and she's evil like a little old boy evil thing to try my love with you. Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you? Little sister, don't you kiss me once or twice? Tell me that it's nicer than you. Run, yeah, little sister, don't you do what you think sister done? Little sister, don't you do what you think sister done? Yeah, little sister, don't you do what you think sister done?
Angus, over here, man. If you can find a seat.
It's busy in here. What on earth is going on?
Oh, it's Mrs. Tweedy's infamous tea room as a venue for the Creative Peebles Festival. Here, take this picture off a chair and sit down.
And what about this mini sculpture? Shall I put it on the next table?
No, don't bother. That's the salt cellar. Anyway, what about this creative festival then, eh? The place is buzzing, isn't it? Have you done much?
I know. Not a thing. I didn't even know it was on.
What? So you didn't go wandering around the various galleries last Friday night? Well, you should have done that. I got my tea for free. Biscuits and crisps at the Tontine, a wee glass of wine at Breeze, and pudding at the Park Hotel. It was all for free. It was terrific.
And what about tweed art?
That would be daft. No, actually, I got a nice cup of Horlicks there.
Have you been to anything else then?
No, not really. And you know, it's a shame. We really ought to enter into it a little bit more. I mean, it's not every town that has an arts festival. I mean, Innerleithen has to make do with a music festival.
Aye, it's just not the same.
No, it's not. But listen, why don't you and I be part of an act? A mob?
A mob?
Aye, well, yeah, not the sort of mob you might get at a football match, but they're sort of a mob. They call it a flash mob.
You don't mean the busking competition, do you? Because I'm not getting my accordion out for anybody. My rugby club ties have never been the same since.
No, I'm talking about the dancing in the street thing. It's that in chorus lot, you know, the choir, swinging their kilts about and sticking their hands in the air. They're doing this big dance and miming to a song in the middle of Peebles High Street.
Like the rugby club do at the Belton.
Aye, sort of. Only without the cross-dressing, I think.
Why is it called a flash mob?
Well, flash mob means it's done spontaneously without anybody knowing anything about it.
And is that why we're given 3 weeks' notice? Anyway, I don't know any of these modern dance moves.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. There'll be folk there to teach you, as well as a lot of technical crew wandering about with fancy video cameras. And it starts at 2 o'clock. So how about I meet you there? Are you up for it?
Well, I used to be known as the Fred Astaire of the Manor Valley.
Aye, and who was Ginger Rogers then?
I'm not telling you that. Now, how about one of Mrs. Tweedy's traditional scones with fermented jam?
Angus and Gordon there, enjoying the hospitality at the Tweedy Tea Room, down there off the High Street. Down there off the High Street and overlooking Tweed Green. At the Tweedy Tea Room, there's always a stern Scottish welcome and a reassuringly hard seat at a formica top table. Fawning service and fatty, sickly sweet drinks in overpriced designer cups are all very well, but when you need a no-nonsense cuppa and an uncompromising message about your real significance in the broader scheme of things, look no further than the Tweedy Tea Room. Our bowel-loosening coffee is brewed fresh every Tuesday and Friday. Our scones don't fall to pieces at the first bite, but retain their integrity right through your system and out the other end, taking no prisoners. The Tweedy Tea Room. If it's good enough for Angus and Gordon, who do you think you are to say otherwise? Please note that toilets are for paying customers only. If you think you might need toilet paper, please ask for a roll at the counter before you go in, and return it afterwards. Following several complaints, customers are asked to refrain from taking selfies in the cubicles.
And this week's dessert special at the Tweedy's Tea Room is a jam roly-poly, made from last week's leftover Clusie dumpling and Mrs. Tweedy's special wartime turnip jam. And here's our DHRC house band on stage to tell us more.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
Roly-poly from the world-class musicians that make up the DHRC house band, here on stage at the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles, Scotland. You're listening to the one and only 2017 Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla show from the Downright Homespun Radio Company, on air since 1897 and listened to by more than 2.6 million people across the known world. For far too long, our special correspondent Chick Fowle has been bringing his unique form of journalism to DHRC listeners, and despite the ever-increasing chorus of complaints, we're pleased to welcome Chick back to the airwaves this week. Originally from Kansas, Chick settled in Peebles after an immigration mix-up at Edinburgh Airport, blagging his way onto our show with promises of cutting-edge reports and deep undercover investigative journalism. We're still looking forward to that, and today could be the day that Chick fulfills his promise. He's on the line now. Chick, where are you and what's going on in Peebles?
Hey, can you hear me, Robert?
Hello?
Huh?
Hello?
Am I coming through
Are you
okay? Loud and clear? I think
no,
the signal may come and go a little because I'm in a rather odd location right now.
Not in Peebles.
Yeah, no, can you guess where I am? Can you?
Well,
Come on, it's all a surprise, Robert.
oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to come out right away and say where it is.
Oh, this is all I need.
You've no idea, right?
No.
Well, maybe just a spark of an idea?
No, I have no idea.
I thought so! Loser! Oh, come on! If I was to say 62, would that give you a clue?
Is that your age?
No, Alex. The bus, crazy. The lifeline of Peebles. The gateway to Old Reekie.
You're on a bus.
And the home of Britain's newest railway
For
line.
goodness sake.
Yeah, but which direction am I travelling
Well,
in,
back
Robert?
to Peebles, I hope.
No, I got you. You have no idea, have you?
No.
Here I am on a spanking new Borders bus heading for... No, I'm not going to tell you that easy. I'm going somewhere close to your heart, Robert. It's had a mention in many a previous DHRC show, so I
Barbados?
thought I'd go and check it out. I got you begging for more, haven't
No,
I?
I just want you to get to the point.
Well, that's it for now.
What?
That's it. Hey, I can see my stop coming up.
Hello?
Hey, excuse me. Here we are, Robert, baby. I'll speak to you later.
Chick Fowl, our special correspondent there, who's clearly lost the place altogether and is on a bus somewhere. We'll get back to Chick later once he's managed to find his way back to Peebles.
Well, let's go outside, shall we, and see where we are in this beautiful, expanding universe of ours.
Where are we, Doctor? I don't recognize this place at all.
It did seem a wee bit familiar. Like I've seen it before in a documentary about the river Tweed.
Yes, that's it. Peebles in the Scottish borders. Stay close. There are strange goings on around here in midsummer.
What are those? They're like strange, hairy beasts with long legs.
Now let me see. It could be the rugby team.
And the smell.
It could still be the rugby team. But no, as I suspected, they're horses, hundreds of them. And all these peeploids are gathering to observe a strange pagan ceremony that's been going on for years.
Does it ever change?
Never. It never changes. The peeploids at Peebles fear if it were to change, the very countryside and their way of life would crumble and never be the same again.
I see.
Yes. And to make sure that things stay the same, you see that person there?
Yes.
He's the chair of a Beltane committee. He makes sure nothing ever changes. He has complete power over the whole town, over all the peeploids. You've met the Cybermen. You've met the Weeping Angels. They can all be beaten if you know their weakness. But this man, the Daleks are more amenable to change than he is.
What is these? I've never seen anything so frightening. Are these Zygons or gas masks, zombies? What planet is they from? Lots of childlike creatures, and some in the form of penguins and others as sailors. And the crowds are throwing small missiles to make them go away.
They're throwing sweets.
But look over there. It's the most frightening of everything I've seen. But what's the... I can't begin to describe them.
Let me see. I was hoping we weren't going to meet them. This could prove very tricky. It's the DHRC house band with Leaving and Saying Goodbye.
Your leaving is so much easier than leaving and saying goodbye. Than leaving and saying goodbye.
Oh, wow. Am I glad we got away from there? But we can see it all from up here on the top of Benlaw Hill.
I know, that was the most frightening place he's ever taken us. But where is he? Doctor, doctor!
Doctor? Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, can you see this? Look. Look down there. I don't understand. What's happening? What's happening to him?
Oh, he's changing. It's all right. I've heard about this. I wasn't panic. This happens now and again. He's regenerating.
Regenerating? What does that mean?
It means his form's going to change, but don't worry, it's still somehow be the same person we all love and everything will be like. There's always been, but different person, but no change really, no. Ah! No, it's not possible. This has never happened before. It can't be. He's changed into a woman.
But that's all right, isn't it? In this day and age, or any day and age, why can't Doctor Who be a woman?
Don't be so ridiculous. That's just kind of ham. We're not talking about Doctor Who. We is talking about the new chairman of the Peebles Belting Committee.
Ah, that's not possible. Coming up later here on the Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla Show, our archivist Steve has been trawling through the records of the Peebles Agricultural Show. Bert and Stan from Scottish Borders Council will be paying a rare visit to Peebles, and Bill McLaren returns for the Peebles Sevens.
There's also music aplenty from our DHRC house band coming up in just a minute. But before all that, it's Miller's time.
Yes, it's Miller's time. Time for giant sacks of dog food,
Horse blankets,
chew sticks,
hamster straw,
post drivers,
staples,
drainage pipes,
corrugated iron,
castration clips,
wire strainers,
Mells,
bells,
gel,
quills,
drills,
tills,
pills,
frills,
rubber gloves,
anal dilators,
lubricants,
face masks,
floor wax,
fertilizer,
bulbs,
shrubs,
scrubs,
tubs,
grubs,
testicular clamps,
fracking equipment,
worming tablets,
flea bombs,
mucus extraction tubes,
buckets,
rackets,
jackets,
pickets,
pilchards,
gate hooks,
piston extenders,
gift wraps,
mole traps,
lava lamps,
rubber teats,
leather cleats,
guinea pig treats,
carpet tack,
lubricant jelly,
sheep tick treatment.
and terracotta figurines.
It has to be Miller's.
Yes, it has to be Miller's. They may call it something else that no one remembers, but to us it will always be Miller's of Peebles. If you can't find it in Scott's and Challis Perkins is always closed, then head to Miller's. Cross the bridge, dodge the parked cars along Caledonian Road, over the roundabout without looking, up the hill until you hit gravel, then turn right and park on the smoothest, cleanest, softest, freshly tarmacked car park in the whole of the Scottish South. South of Scotland, I should say. If you want Hazlitt, go to the butcher's, but for almost everything else, go to Miller's of Peebles, and other places as well.
Now let's continue the rich.
Thank you.
Let's continue the rich, warm glow induced by Miller's at Peebles now with our next number from the award-winning DHRC house band. A big hand for them, please, as they step on stage with Accentuate the Positive.
Got to accentuate the positive. It'll eliminate the negative. Action to the affirmative, and don't wait with Mr. in the team. You got to spread joy up to the maximum and bring or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the sea. But when they said you got to, I said you ain't the positive, eliminate the negative. Action to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. Said you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Action to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Oh, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
High above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the old Beaches building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, private detective. Missing wives and wayward husbands, corrupt officials and just plain old dirty dealings, he's seen it all. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, call into the offices of Bobby Barr. Cash in advance, expenses are extra, and don't call on a Wednesday afternoon if you know what's good for you.
It was another Tuesday morning, and I was in my fourth coffee of the day. My landlady had been on the phone 3 times already, asking when she was going to get the last month's rent. So I was sending out some final demands on some old bills, seeing if I could scrape enough cash together to keep her quiet. It was raining outside. It's always raining these days. I looked out across the street, wondering whether I could make it over to Greg's without getting drenched. That's when I spotted her, crossing the street under a bright red umbrella. She stood out from the crowd with that elegant walk, these high heels, and a dress that looked like it had been spray painted on her body, fresh that morning. I knew she was coming to see me, the way she looked behind her anxiously, the way she didn't belong in Peebles High Street, the way she didn't belong in my office or even in my arms. I didn't have long to wait before I heard these high heels coming along the corridor. Come in, the door's open.
Mr. Barr, the private detective.
She was tall, she was blonde, and her red dress was so tight I could read the day of the week embroidered on her underwear. It said Wednesday. She was a day ahead of herself and hung in the air like a promise. She sat down and took out a cigarette holder almost as long as her umbrella.
Have you got a light?
I pushed across a lighter with a heavy glass ashtray, the same one that got Freddie Fingers McTavish put away for 20 years after he used it to kill his brother for the insurance money. He got 13 years left to serve, so he's promised to come and do the same to me.
Mr. Barr, I'm told you can look into things discreetly. Can you do that for me?
Depends what it is, Miss...
Gift, Mr. Barr. I'm Amber Gift.
Pleased to meet you, Miss Gift. What seems to be the problem?
It's my shop, Mr. Barr. I've had to close down my shop on the High Street.
A lot of shops are closing down these days, Miss Gift. What kind of shop was it?
A gift shop. Gifts gift shop.
Yeah, I know the one down beside the opticians, wasn't it? Sold gifts.
Mostly gifts, yes.
So why did you close down? No one buying gifts
Oh,
these days.
on the contrary, Mr. Barr. Gifts are big business in this town. My shop was so busy, I had 3 assistants just to keep restocking the shelves. I was just about to open a second gift shop at the other end of the street. Gifts too.
So what happened?
My landlord cancelled the lease. He gave me some excuse about wear and tear, but I did nothing wrong. And now I've heard he's rented it out to someone else.
Who?
He won't say, and that's why I'm talking to you, Mr. Barr. You see, my shop is the 3rd one to close down this month, and all for the same reason.
Cancelled leases?
Cancelled leases. So, will you take the case?
I'll look into it, Miss Gift. No guarantees, of course, and it's cash up front if you don't mind.
Of course.
She reached down and slowly lifted the hem of her dress. She got as far as her red lace suspenders, then extracted a roll of £20 notes. She peeled off half a dozen and handed them over. They were still warm.
Will this be enough?
Plenty. Thanks, Miss Gift.
Call me.
And with that, she was gone. I headed out down the street to visit a lawyer friend of mine. Hamish has his ear to the ground, and if anything was knowing any dodgy business with property leases, he'd know about it.
I don't know anything about it, Bobby. Property leases? No, I've not heard anything.
Come on, Hamish. 3 shops shut down in a month, and they're rented right back out to mysterious tenants.
That's just unlucky, Bobby. Anyway, did you go to the Highland Games?
No, I didn't go to the Highland Games. When did I ever go to the Highland Games?
Well, just making conversation, Bobby. Well, there was nothing else. I've got work to do.
He was lying, of course, but I could tell he was scared too. I wasn't going to get anything from him, so I headed round the back to one of the shut-up shops to see if anything was going on. I managed to get the window open and climbed inside.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm a power company. Come to read the meter.
Oh, okay. Meet us through here.
The place was completely empty, but along one wall was a huge stack of small wire cages. He led me through to the other room, and more cages were stacked against the far wall.
The meet us in that cupboard.
So, you're the owner?
Right, this is my place, yeah? I just signed over the lease.
Oh, really? Who's leasing it?
That's none of your business. Hey, what about that meter reading? Shouldn't you have a machine or something?
I left it in the cart, so how come the lease has changed, and what are all these little cages?
Hey, what's with all the questions, mister? I don't think you're here to read the meter at all. Who are you?
I'm Bobby Barr, private investigator.
I've got nothing to say to you. Go on, get out.
I took a quick last look around and noticed something odd on the windowsill. Is that an egg?
What? Oh, sure. That's an egg.
And feathers on the floor in that corner over there?
Nothing wrong with feathers. Now get out of here before I put a bullet in your leg.
He'd pulled a gun from his coat pocket and I took the hint. As I walked away up the street, I reached into my jacket and took out the egg I'd swiped from the windowsill on my way out. There was something familiar about this. Something whispering at the back of my brain. I'd seen eggs before. But at the office, I made a couple of phone calls and one name came up 3 times in conversation. Of course, it was obvious. Why hadn't I thought of it before? It was time to pay a visit to my old adversary, Johnny the Chicken Man.
Who cancelled the lease on Miss Gift's gift shop? Is Miss Gift all that she seems? Will our hero work out where the egg came from? And who is Johnny the Chicken Man? Find out the answers to these and many other questions when we rejoin Bobby Barr, Private Eye, later in the show.
Our royal company of radio actors with the adventures of our favourite Peebles Private Eye there, including our special guest, Karen Graham, as the seductive and dangerous Miss Amber Gift. And from the sleazy world of petty crime and underworld vice, it's only a short jump to our DHRC house band. On stage now with more music in the small town summer Sarsaparilla show. Here they are with Baby Mine.
Baby mine, don't you cry. Rest your head close to my heart, never to part, baby of mine. Little one, when we play, don't you mind what they say? Let those eyes sparkle and shine, never a tear, baby of mine. But if they knew, sweet little you, they'd end up loving you too. And all those people who scold you, what they'd give for just the right to hold you. From your head to your toe, you're not much goodness though, but you're so precious to me, cute as can be, baby of mine. You know you're so precious to me, baby of mine.
Baby Mine from the DHRC House Band here on the small town summer Sarsaparilla from the Downright Homespun radio company. Here at the Scottish borders, rugby is practically a religion in its own right, and every year we're proud to host the Peebles Sevens right here in the town. This year, we've been pleased to welcome a team from Peebles' twin town in France, the town of Downright. And as the two teams line up at Haylodge Park, by the magic of radio, here's Bill McLaren to tell us what's happening on the pitch.
Well, hello listeners on the DHRC across the world, and welcome along to the Kites in Peebles for the special twin town rugby game between Peebles and the Downright team, all the way from down there in the southwest of France. You know, I don't know any French, so you'll have to excuse me if I just stick to the old English with a wee bit Scots thrown in for good measure. But let's take a look at this Downright team. They really have brought over the creme de la creme. And what's going to be a tough game for the local boys who want to avoid a complete coup d'etat on their home pitch. With the Downright team big boys in the front five like the 125 kilos of pret-a-manger, who tells me he's ready for anything, and Manage a Trois, who always enjoys getting stuck into the scrum and really is the infant terrible of the side. Now that's the game started, and off goes Complete. Yes, fait accompli, who's behaving like he was an established fact that they're going to win this game as he's charging up the field like a troop up the burn. And he's passed the ball back to Douvre, yes, little Oz Douvre, who's quickly finished off by the Peebles front forward. You know, it's all looking so familiar as Deja Vu brings down one of the Peebles boys with just a light touche. But now it's vous play. Yes, respondez, si vous play. Is waiting to get the ball back in that casual, laissez-faire style of his and passes to Guard. Yes, avant-garde, who enjoys trying out a few new tricks on the field of play. Oh, but that certainly went wrong, as legs were flying about like a herd of demented giraffes. And now it's a scrum, and up steps Entendre with the ball. Oh, what a cheeky chappy he can be, Yes, double entendre, slips it in gently, and it goes in all the way. Oh, and you see that scrum recoil. But no, it's wee faux pas who makes a boo-boo of that, and it's slipped right out again, which is a bit risky for this guy's crowd to say the least. It's like the whole raison d'etre for being here has suddenly disappeared, but the big, brash, know-all, yes, number 8, nouveau riche, picks the ball up and runs with it to the Peebles try line. He's knocking down the Peebles boy like they were papier-mâché, and this certainly is his pièce de résistance. And that's it. Vive la différence with Peebles. That's all from me at the Gates, and as they say in Onday, Vorsprung durch Technik. Good night.
Thrilling international rugby commentary right here in Peebles from Steve Lee, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up later, we'll be listening into archived recordings from past DHRC shows and catching up with Angus and Gordon, enjoying the delights of the Creative Peebles Festival.
This next song from our DHRC house band is brought to you by Forsyths, the family butcher right here in the heart of Peebles. If you like the feel of firm, fresh flesh between your teeth, then look no further than Forsyths the Butcher here on the High Street in Peebles, and strangely, only 5 minutes away in the Old Town as well.
But Forsyths doesn't just do meat, does it, Steve?
No indeed, Douglas. Forsyths is a butcher's and a baker's, with an unrivaled range of quality breads and cakes.
Do they do candlesticks?
No. And I'm disappointed that you asked me that. However, this summer, you'll want to know about Forsyths' new fusion range. The butchers and the bakers have put their heads together and created a range of delicious products that combine the best of both.
We're talking about more than just ham sandwiches here, aren't we, Steve?
Yes, Douglas, indeed. Forsyth's fusion range includes such delights as beef and tomato donuts, whole wheat minced baguette, custard and kidney slice, and the surprisingly tasty jam and cream haggis.
And this summer, why not try Forsyth's new Lungs and Lights summer pudding? Decorated with chopped liver and topped with a fresh pig's testicle. Forsyth's new fusion range, available at the butchers and the bakers, but not, so far at least, at the candlestick makers.
And Forsyth's products are now available 24 hours a day, with the installation of the new hole-in-the-wall automatic butcher's shop. Yes, using the Forsyth's 24-hour automatic butcher's shop is simple. Simply select your chosen cut of meat from the digital display touchscreen. Make sure you've chosen any cooked meats before switching to raw. Your cuts of meat will be automatically selected and wrapped for you by our state-of-the-art digital robotic butcher.
While your order is being prepared, walk to the other end of the street to pay at our separate payment counter, making sure that you bring your ticket with you. The payment counter is open Monday to Saturday between 9 and 5 and closed on Wednesday afternoons.
Music now from the award-winning DHRC house band, live on stage at the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre. It's a sin to tell a lie, apparently.
Millions of hearts
sin to tell a lie. Just back from their annual summer tour in Nashville, and still with the business class luggage tags on their instruments, our house band members are glad to be back here on the stage of the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles.
One of the highlights of living in Peebles, here in the Scottish borders, is the opportunity to visit the annual Peebles Agricultural Show. Unchanged for over 600 years, the Peebles Agricultural Show is an unlikely fusion of prize bulls, competitive gingerbread making, tractors, local farmers, and generous floral print dresses that even the makers of Breaking Bad couldn't have imagined.
The DHRC has been broadcasting from the Peebles Agricultural Show since 1897, with up-to-the-minute developments in the jam tent, detailed reports about prize rams, and live tannoy announcements as they happen throughout the day.
Our DHRC archivist Steve has been looking through the archives of old recordings in the DHRC lockup down by the drill hall and reminiscing about agricultural shows through the years. Steve, have you found anything interesting?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as that, Douglas, but there have certainly been some changes in the Peebles Agricultural Show over the years. Just listen to this wax cylinder recording of the DHRC's Agricultural Show broadcast from 1898. It's a tannoy announcement from the show president, Samuel Barr, announcing the winners of the baking and produce competitions.
And down near the river is the very latest in water wheel technology for the modern farm. The inventors claim water wheels are the way of the future in farming, and it's well worth taking a look. Once again, there's been fierce competition in the Women's Rural Baking and Produce tent this year, with a record 92 different gingerbreads in contention. Mrs. Blackwood's nettle and crabapple jelly looked set to sweep the board, but in the end it's Mrs. Barr's fruit scones that have won the day, with Mrs. Adamson's curried eggs in second place. Over in the secretary's tent, we've got a lost way. If you've lost a wee lad dressed in a grey waistcoat and bonnet and in his best shoes, please report to the secretary's tent before 5 o'clock to collect him. He's already had a clip round here, and I'm sure he'll get another one when he's picked up. That's the lost way in the secretary's tent.
A rare vintage recording from the Peebles Agricultural Show from 1898 there. You know, the show took a break during the First World War, but by the 1930s, everything was changing in the farming world. Just listen to this recording of the show president, Samuel Barr, from the DHRC broadcast of the 1931 Peebles Agricultural Show, and you'll see what I mean.
And down near the river is the very latest in Clydesdale horse technology. The breeders claim these fine beasts are the way of the future in farming, and it's well worth taking a look. Once again, there's been fierce competition in the Women's Rural Baking and Produce tent this year, with a record 122 different gingerbreads in contention. Mrs. Adamson's elderflower and turnip jelly looks set to sweep the board, but in the end it's Mrs. Blackwood's victorious sponge that has won the day, with Mrs. Barr's griddle pancakes in second place. Over in the secretary's tent, we've got a lost way. We've lost a wee lassie dressed in a blue summer frock and bonnet and in her best shoes. Please report to the secretary's tent before 5 o'clock to collect her. She's already had a telling off, and I'm sure she'll get another one when she's picked up. That's a lost way in the secretary's tent.
The changing face of agriculture. In that archive recording from the 1931 Peebles Agricultural Show at Hay Lodge Park.
It certainly was all change in the farming world back then, Steve, but how about in more recent years? Have you got any recordings from the past few years?
Oh, well, yes. In fact, just this morning, I was listening to this recording of the show president, Robert Barr, made on reel-to-reel magnetic tape in 1973. You know, Britain had just joined the common market, and so it was all change in the world of agriculture. Have a listen to this.
And down near the river is the very latest in four-wheel drive tractor technology. The inventors claim these fine machines are the way of the future in farming, and it's well worth taking a look. Once again, there's been fierce competition in the Women's Rural Baking and Produce tent this year, with a record 157 different gingerbreads in contention. Mrs. Barr's apricot and parsnip chutney looks set to sweep the board, but in the end it's Mrs. Adamson's Dundee cake that has won the day, with Mrs. Blackwood's clooty dumpling in second place. Over in the secretary's tent, we've got a lost way. If you've lost a wee laddie dressed in a tie-dyed shirt, flare jeans and his best desert
the Peebles Agricultural Show from 1973 there, reflecting the constant change in the world of farming in modern Scotland. Coming right up to date now, the DHRC once again broadcast the annual Peebles Agricultural Show just a couple of weeks ago. Let's listen to a short clip from that digitally streamed broadcast in which Honorary President Robert Barr announces the winners of the baking and produce competition.
And down near the river is the very latest in GPS driverless tractor technology. The inventors claim that smart farming is the way of the future and it's well worth taking a look. Once again, there's been fierce competition in women's rural baking and produce tech this year, with a record 192 different gingerbreads in contention. Mrs. Blackwood's raspberry and leek jelly looks set to sweep the board, but in the end it's a dead heat between Mrs. Adamson's all-buttered shortbread, Mrs. Blackwood's border tart and Mrs. Barr's Empire biscuits. So congratulations to all three. Over at the Secretary's tent, we've got a lost way. If you've lost a wee lassie dressed in a bright blue and pink anorak, green spotted wellies and with her face painted as a tiger, please report to the Secretary's tent before 5 o'clock to collect her. She's already had a donut and a can of iron food. That's a lost way in the Secretary's tent.
And that just about wraps up my fascinating look through the DHRC archives of the Peebles Agricultural Show and the changing world of local farming. And with that, it's back to you in the studio.
That's our homespun radio archivist Steve over at the DHRC lockup down by the drill hall with another look through the archives of the DHRC. The voice talents of the remarkably well-preserved Robert Barr through the ages featured there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be hearing from our correspondent Chick Fowler in a few minutes. Hopefully he's now back in Peebles and reporting on everything that's going on in the Creative Peebles Festival this week.
Yes, but before that, let's get our house band back on stage for a Roy Orbison classic. Here's Henry White and the DHRC house band with Blue Bayou.
Feel so bad I've got a worried mind, feeling lonesome all the time, since I've left my baby behind on Blue Bayou. Saving nickel, saving dime, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happier times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, gonna stay on Blue Bayou, where you sleep all day and the catfish play on Blue Bayou. All the fishing boats with the sails afloat, goodbye to the lonely sea, but familiar sunrise, blue sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. some sweet day gonna take away this hurting inside. I'll never be blue, my dreams come true on blue.
The award-winning DHRC house band live on stage at the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre. Our show wouldn't be the same without regular reports from our special correspondent, Chick Fowl. Last seen getting off a bus in an unspecified location. Chick, what are you doing now? Chick? Ooh. Hello?
Ooh. Oh, just a wee bit more.
Is this thing on? What's happening? Hello?
Oh.
Chick Fowl?
Woo! Oh. Oh. Oh boy, did I need that. That is so much better. You know, the trouble is this 62 bus, there's no John on board. Woo, my back teeth were floating there. So can you guess where I am yet, Robert? Come on, I'll give you a clue. It's not the 62 bus.
I'm glad to hear it. A toilet. I'm hoping you're in a toilet, Chick.
Well, yeah, kind of. Actually, it's a little bit of France.
What?
Here in the Scottish borders.
We don't have the budget for
Yeah, yeah. This could be Paris.
Paris?
Yes? Well, maybe not really. It isn't just any toilet, Robert. This is can anybody in the studio audience guess where I am? Anybody? Come on, shout it out. Where in Walkerburn? That's right. That dame over there guessed it.
I don't believe it.
I'm in the Pissoir in Walkerburn. That jewel of the Scottish borders.
No.
And what a great place this is. The Pissoir, that is. It's cast iron, built in 1897 and just peed in by the gents of Walkerburn and visitors alike for the past 120 years. No wonder the grass grows so well around here. It does sort of stink a little, though. And listen up, it's the only one in Scotland. How about that?
Goodness.
Yes, Robert, I'm in Walkerburn, your
please.
favourite place.
What are you doing there?
Well, you thought I was heading to Edinburgh,
I
didn't
was hoping you were going somewhere else.
Yeah, but no, I'm in one of the youngest villages in the borders, apart from Cardrona. Hey, which one do you think's got more character?
Ouch.
Anyway, now you know where I am. I'm going to check out a few more Walkerburn places.
Oh, no.
Clearly, this place has seen better days.
You can say that again.
But it's got history,
What?
and it's got community spirit.
We're talking Walkerburn.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm going to take a wee walk down to the burn, the Walkerburn. Get it, Robert? Get it? Listen, I'll speak to you later. Geez, I should have put my wellies on back there. My shoes are kind of wet.
Scraping the barrel of family comedy there. Our special correspondent, Chick Fowl, occupying some sort of parallel universe in broadcast journalism. We're due to check in with Chick later in the show when hopefully he's come to his senses and returned home to Peebles. You're listening to the Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla Show, broadcast by the Downright Homespun Radio Company. Live on our stage now, it's the DHRC's very own house band taking us up to our interval here at the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre. Shoris Ashby, Karen Graham, live on stage with the DHRC house band. Walkerburn, I don't know about you, I'm going to Jackson.
We got married in a fever hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. I'm going Jackson, I'm gonna mess around. Yeah, I'm going Jackson, look out Jackson Town.
Well, go on down to Jackson. Go ahead and wreck your head. Go play your hand, you big talking man. Make a big fool of yourself. Yeah, yeah, go to Jackson. Go comb that hair.
I'm gonna snowball Jackson if I can. When I breeze into this city, people gonna stoop and bow. All them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. 'Cause I'm going to Jackson. You turn loose my coat, 'cause I'm going to Jackson.
Goodbye, that's all she wrote.
We're going to Jackson, we never coming back.
We're taking a short break on the small town summer sarsaparilla show. Recharge your glasses at the Eastgate's well-appointed bar, and we'll see you back in about 20 minutes. Thank you.
Summer Sarsaparilla show here. That's the DHRC house band with the Dashing White Sergeant. A warm welcome back to our audience here in the auditorium of Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles, and to our millions of listeners tuning in around the world on FM, longwave and digital receivers.
Coming up in the second half, we're paying a visit to our favourite hardware store here in the heart of Peebles. Council workers Bert and Stan are undertaking some essential work in the town, and our house band brings you another selection of award-winning musical performances.
Coming up in just a few minutes, we're bringing the popular radio team game Mornington Crescent to the Scottish borders with a round of Grand Ol Eastgate. That's after our DHC house band latest number, Choo Choo Chiboogie.
1, 2,
station with the back of my back. I've got transportation in the back of my hat. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety-clack. Hear the lonesome whistle and the wind in the track. I play around with Democratic gallows they back. So take me right back to the track. Jack, shoot, 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 boogie. Woo, 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 shoot, boogie. Shoot, 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 boogie. Take me right back to the track. Jack. You need some compensation to get back in the line. You read them on the paper from the top of the rack. You take the situation from the front to the back. The only joke that's off on these a man with an axe. So put it right back in the jack, jack. Shoot, 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 boogie. Woo, 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 boogie. Shoot, 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 boogie. Take me right back to the track, jack. I'm gonna settle down by the railroad track, with a life for rally and a beaten down shack. So when I hear the whistle blow, it comes to the crack. I watch the train rolling from the front to the back. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety-clack. Treat me right back to the track, jack. Shoot, 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 boogie. Woo, 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 boogie. Shoot, 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 boogie. Take me right back to the track, jack. Take me right back to the track, jack.
Choo Choo Chiboogie with the incomparable Henry White and the DHRC House Band getting the second half of the small town summer sarsaparilla off to a flying start. Now it's time to get our players on stage for the panel game called Grand Ol Eastgate. A warm DHRC welcome to our special guest this evening, Sam Horbury. Joining our royal company of radio actors for the second half of our summer sarsaparilla show. Now, contestants, we all know the rules of the game, of course, and this week there are no right turns if there's a tree in the road, and we're playing the Tweed Bridge Roadworks rule.
Okay, remind me, does that make Tweed Green two-way?
Only between 9 and 4, but yes, unless you're driving a van.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Sam, you can start.
Okay, Eccles Street Bray.
Good, first move.
And Robert, you're next.
Just a minute. Elker Street. Okay, Mark Street.
Steve.
Connor Avenue.
Good move. Sam, looks like he's got you cornered.
No, George Street facing north.
Oh, I should have seen that.
And Robert, your move.
I am Delato Crescent.
St. Michael's Wynd.
Caledonian Road.
No, he can't do that.
That's right, we're playing the right-hand tree rule, Sam.
Okay, Kings Meadows Car Park.
Okay, I can give you that provided you've got an extra loud exhaust.
No problem.
Robert?
Schoolbury. Reversing downhill.
Venlaw Road.
Oh no, wait a minute, Venlo Road.
I have to hurry you.
Can I play Hazard's Lights on the High Street?
Yes, only if it's a really busy time.
Okay, High Street South Side, double parked.
Oh, I've got it. Northgate, up in the pavement, by the chip shop.
Oh. Damn, I can't move now.
Couldn't you play Double Yellow by Fat Face?
That's not my style usually, but I guess... Okay, Cuddy Bridge.
Crossland Crescent. No, wait, North Street.
Oh, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
What? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Crossland Crescent comes under the one-way rule.
I changed it.
Aye, but you said it already.
The 1973 Venn law ruling disallows changes on a one-way crescent.
Yes, Steve's right. You'll have to go with Crossland. Sam, you miss a turn.
So who's next?
Does it matter?
Okay, man or brig?
Need path traffic lights.
Oh, that's going to mean a 10-minute wait, Steve. Could you go the other way?
Well, I could do Craigon Lane on a triple word score.
How come he's allowed to change?
He's taller than you.
Oh,
It's your turn.
Carryside car park.
Eastgate car park.
No, you've let him win.
What?
Grand Ol Eastgate.
And Robert wins again this week. Well done. There's a few messy moves there, Sam. You need some more practice. A big hand, please, ladies and gentlemen, for our players. Steve Leeds, special guest Sam Horbury, and this week's winner, Sir Robert Barr of Hanover.
Coming up later here on the Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla, we'll call into Scott Stores on the High Street.
And we'll catch up with Peebles' very own private investigator, Bobby Barr. But before all that, it's time to hear again from our special correspondent, Chick Fowle. Last time we spoke to him, Chick had found his way into the backwoods and was reporting from Walkerburn or some such place. Let's hope he's found his way home now. He's on the line now. Chick, where are you?
Hi. Can you hear me, Robert? Can you hear me okay? Am I getting through? You know, this could be fairly tough, but we'll give it a go. You know, as part of my trip to Walkerburn...
Hello?
Yeah, okay, can you hear me? I visited the Caveston Cafe and had one of the best scones I've ever tasted. You really need to check that place out, Robert. Anyway, can you guess where I am now?
A windy Walkerburn?
What?
Not still in the toilet, are you?
No. Well, I'll tell you where I am. I'm nearly 15 feet above sea level. That's 1,000 feet above Walkerburn itself, and I'm standing outside what remains of the Kearney Law Reservoir.
What?
Yeah, a huge 3 million gallon water tank on top of a hill.
So, are you going to jump in, Chick?
What? No, you're crazy. There's no water in it now. It's empty and just, well, sitting there.
So, it's empty and it doesn't work. Sums up Walkerburn, if you ask me.
But the point is, Robert, it tells you of former glory. This was the site of the world's first hydroelectric scheme. Can you believe that? The first one in the whole world.
No.
It was built just after the First World War to power the Tweed mills down in the Walkerburn.
That is 100 years ago, Chick.
Yeah, but I know. But isn't this amazing? I mean, the first in the world.
Chick, do you have anything to report on that's still going on in Walkerburn?
Well, I think I do, but I'm going to have to go back down this hill.
Right, we'll see you later, Chick.
Yeah, no problem.
Chick Fowle, roaming around a ruined reservoir on the top of a blasted heath near Walkerburn. Sums it up, really. Let's get our house band back up here on stage to try and rescue the situation. Shoris Ashby, Al Saray, the DHRC house band, bringing you Au fait Pachi d'amour.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't speak. What have you done to my mean right out of your June. You make a line parading with the moon. Oh, fake Regina Moore. You're gonna wreck up my lonely life. Love and happiness and laughter. Take up my time, make you my wife. Living happily ever after. You spin me around like a top, making me sweeter than a soda pop. This has got to come to a stop. Oh, make me change no more.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Scott's Stores. And how can I help you?
Ah, Mr. Scott, it's good to see you again.
Aha, Mr. Trump. Nice to see you again. And I see you've got a friend with you.
Yeah, Mr. Scott, meet General John Kelly, my new chief of staff.
Oh, no, hello.
Hello to you, sir. So, Mr. Trump, how's that wall coming along?
Slowly. You know, I keep going around to Travis Perkins like you said, but they never seem to be open. Anyway, that's not what I'm here for this time.
I see. Well, if it's not the wall, what brings you to Peebles this time, Mr. President?
Well, I got a couple of pieces of business to attend to. First of all, can you tell me where the Peeblesshire News is located? General Kelly and I need to see the editor.
Oh, has he written something nasty about you?
No, quite the opposite. In fact, it's the only goddamn newspaper in the world never to have done that. I think the editor is terrific and a great friend of mine. I've been getting a copy of the Peeblesshire News every week since I came into office, and I think it's a very, very good paper. It's so much better than that BBC. And you know what? It's beautiful, because it never, ever publishes fake news.
That's because it never publishes any news.
I know, and it's brilliant, but people still buy it and they believe it. That's what I like about it, and I'm going to headhunt the editor and make him my new director of communications. He is perfect for what I want. No more fake news in the White House.
I see. What'll that be? That'll be a major loss to the town. Now, what's the other piece of business?
Oh yeah, do you sell grass seed? I need a lot of it.
Yes, we do. You passed it on the shelves on your way in. Are you thinking of sowing a lawn somewhere?
Well, you could say that. I'm thinking of relaying a whole golf course.
That's a lot of grass seed.
Yeah, you see, I just bought Peebles Golf Course.
Good afternoon, sir. How can I help you?
Mr. President,
What the hell are you saying?
sorry, Mr. President, Kevin Jong-un.
What? You mean Kim Jong-un?
No, Mr. President, Kevin Jong-un.
Kevin? I thought it was Kim. But he's here? In Scott's Stores in Peebles? I mean, how weird is that?
Is this Scott Stores? Well, it's a bloody Scott Stores, but I want some plutonium.
I'm sorry, I don't think I have any of that.
Well, what about some uranium then?
No, none of that either.
Now, Sonny, you can't buy that stuff. The UN have made sanctions against you and your country.
What? No, I don't bloody believe it. You're horrible. I hate you. I hate everything about you and America. You just want to control everybody and everything, but you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. You're horrible. I can't stand you.
Now, just a minute. Who do you think you're talking to? This is the President of the US of A.
Well, I'm a bloody president as well, of Korea, duh. Look at you, you're orange. Who ever heard of an orange president? It's like you're straight out of a tango advert. You're horrible, with a stupid hairstyle. What's the matter? Why are you staring at me, weirdo?
Well, it's just the first time I met you. I expected somebody, I don't know, older.
Okay, I'm old enough, Grandad. Stop going on about it, all right? Just because you have a ballistic missile and I don't, it's not fair. I want a ballistic missile.
Have you tried Miller's?
No. Why don't you shut up? It's so bloody unfair. I want some radioactive material for my ballistic missile, that's all. I was told I can get anything here at Scott's stores. I can't get them at home. I can't get them from bloody China anymore. I know Tango advert here won't give them to me. I want some now.
Now, calm down there, Sonny. We can't let idiots like you have nuclear weapons.
You've got them, and you're an idiot. You're a big orange idiot with a stupid hairstyle. It's so unfair.
Sorry, Mr. President. I was saying something like that. Mentally unstable.
Are you talking to me or old Orange Jaws here? He's mentally unstable, and I hate him. I hate America. I'm going to blow up into tiny little pieces.
All right, that's enough. I'm not having you two cause thermonuclear war in my shop. Not again. It's just been decorated. You two think you're such big men, don't you? Well, I'm going to take you to the Crown Hotel next door where the real hard men of Peebles hang out. And we'll see how you get on there.
Well, that's real nice of you, Mr. Scott, but I have to be getting on. I've got a newspaper editor to see.
And I can't go to the bloody pub. I'm too young.
Oh, no. Grab your coats, Sarsaparilla. General Mumble here can come too. In fact, the more the merrier. Junior here can have a Coke.
Oh, yes, I'd love a Coke.
Geez, Angela Merkel was easier to deal with than you, Mr. Scott. Mind you, that Theresa May was a pushover.
Come on, out of the shop. And the first drink's on you, Mr. Trump.
Okay.
International diplomacy, Peebles style, from the voice talents of Steve Lee, Robert Barr, and our special guest this evening, Sam Horbury. If your sprockets come loose, if your screws lost the thread or you can't quite nail it, then head over to Scott's Hardware and Mercantile, down there on the High Street, where hinge pins still come in brown paper bags and elbow grease is in half-pint jars along the back wall.
And don't forget Scott's Garden Centre, right next door. One of Peebles' best-kept secrets. Scott's Garden Centre is located on Diagon Alley, next to the Scott's Comprehensive Hardware and Mercantile in the centre of Peebles High Street. Walk towards a small gap between the shop and the wall, blink your eyes twice, and you're in the longest, thinnest garden centre in Europe.
Tall, narrow trees, ladders, bamboo poles, patio heaters, gates, and trellis panels. It's all stacked along one side of Scott's Garden Centre. Stay in line and keep moving down the alley, please. Pay in the shop next door on your way out.
Yes, Scott's Hardware and Mercantile, a hidden gem in the centre of Peebles High Street since 1787.
Music from our house band now. A big hand, please, as they set up, Music from our house band now. You can edit that out, can't you? A big hand, please, as they step up to bring you All of Me.
just flop down in his chair. Oh, aye, that's better. Oh, Angus, over here, man.
So there you are. Were you at the dancing in the street thing?
I was there, aye, for my sins. I was waiting for you over by Caldwell's. Where were you?
I was down by Rogerson's. There were hundreds of people there, so no real chance of meeting up. What happened then, and where did the stookie come from?
Oh, I got a bit carried away with my steps. I was doing all right for a while, you know, clipping my fingers and pretending to sing like the rest of them. I was really getting into it, but then they stopped to announce some Wayne with a tiger painted on her face had got separated from his mammy and would be waiting for her in Caldwell's. After that, I sort of lost my rhythm and got all muddled up with my left and my right. I went the wrong way and went crashing into this burly bloke next to me. I fell over and broke my ankle. They had to rush me off to the BGH halfway through, so I missed the finale.
Oh, Guy, I saw that ambulance making its way through the crowd, and I thought it was all part of the act.
I wish it had been. They kept me in overnight. You know, I'm not long out. So what about you then?
Well, like you, I was getting fair into it, and I found I could specialise in these windmill things. You know, swinging your arm around like a demented Windy and Miller, and from Camberwick Green. And anyway, I was doing all right until they had to do as the Mexican wave. I threw my arms in the air and crouched down on the ground like we were told. And there, I stayed there. I couldn't get back up. And the first aid guy, man, had to come and get me, and I saw the rest of it for a wheelchair inside the tontine. Somebody phoned for an ambulance, but tell they were busy right now.
Well, that's right, they were taking me to the BGH. Here, pass over the scum, will you?
Oh, are you getting that canny stretch, Stanford? I can hardly move, and here, let me sit in that high back chair, will you?
Oh, this keeping fit malarkey can be bad for you.
Well, it certainly can.
It's much safer to just stay here in Mrs. Tweedy's tea room and watch the video when it comes out. Another vanilla slice with extra cream.
Aye, why not?
Angus and Gordon feeling a little worse for wear. After the Creative Peebles Festival flash mob dance on Peebles High Street. If you've just enjoyed a heavy session of dancing in the middle of the High Street and you're in need of a refreshing cup of tea in a firm high-back chair, then look no further than the Tweedy Tea Room, down there off the High Street and overlooking Tweed Green. Don't waste your time and money on dishwater herbal infusions that taste like a dental rinse, or fancy coffees that are all fluff and no bite. At the Tweedy Tea Room, our pharmacy-strength tea is served in a no-nonsense aluminium teapot and leaves those reassuring dark stains on the white china mug. And why not complement it with one of Mrs. Tweedy's handcrafted sausage rolls, made from special meat and guaranteed to stay with you long after other foods are forgotten. The Tweedy Tea Room, serving the people of Peebles with grim determination since 1847. Please note that toilets are for paying customers only. Cubicle doors have been removed this week for repainting after another overnight graffiti attack revealed shockingly poor grasp of basic spelling, grammar and punctuation amongst young people in the town. If you insist on putting graffiti in our toilet cubicles, please ensure you know the proper names of the relevant body parts.
Here in Peebles on a late summer night, the stars are shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you, and the birds are singing in the sycamore trees. Enjoy it while you can, because winter is coming. Here's our DHRC house band on stage with Dreaming a Little Dream of Summer.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me all worries behind you. That in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. And in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
It's no often we find ourselves up here in Peebles, Stan.
Aye, right enough, Bert. Most of the council resources these days go to Hoyk and Galashiels. Isn't the new council leader no a lassie to Peebles?
Oh, that's right, Stan. So maybe things will change, eh? It's only fair that the complaints about underspending get distributed more evenly about the borders.
Aye, Peebles has had a monopoly and winded for far too long. So what are we going to do up here today?
Oh, we're collecting up the metal street barriers from yet another of these street events in Peebles. They're forever closing the roads up here for cycling and parades and such like.
What was it this time, Bert?
Oh, it's flashing in the street or something. Sounds like several hundred people stripping off their clothes and prancing around the high street.
Things just get more strange the further west you go, don't they, Bert?
They certainly do, in the borders, Stan. Come on, let's get these first lot of stacks on the barriers onto the back of a truck. There's one on the high street, and there's one up at the roundabout by the Eastgate. And then we can get on the road back to Gala.
Okay, you get that end and I'll...
Oh, good. Now, up to the roundabout.
That's the other lot, Bert, neatly stacked against the wall.
I'll say this for Peebles, Stan. They always tidy things up neatly for us.
Aye, no like the devastation after the Hoyt Common riding. Or the mouth Christmas lights still up at Easter time.
Come on, let's get this lot in the truck.
That's the lot, Bert. Let's head back to Galashiels.
Aye, maybe we could stop off for a coffee in Walkabout on the way.
Aye, grand.
Now, wait a minute, Stan. What's that down there?
Where?
There, down along the Edinburgh Road. Isn't that another stack of our railings?
Oh, I can't see it. No, wait a minute. You mean that great tangled mess of metal at the side of the road opposite the Eastgate car park?
That's right, Stan. Just to be clear what it is that we're talking about.
I would better take a look. I don't believe it.
It certainly looks like another set of our railings, but what a mess!
I know there's vandalism problem in Peebles just now, Bert, but how could folk manage to make do such a simple set of council railings? A mess like this.
Well, we can't leave it here like this, Stan. It's a dreadful eyesore. And I imagine the people of Peebles would want it gone as soon as possible.
Aye, right enough, Bert. Can you imagine anybody actually wanting something like this just dumped on the side of the main road of the town without any local consultation?
It gives a terrible impression.
Aye, come on. Let's get it back in the truck.
I think we've earned that coffee now, Stan.
Robert Parr and Steve Lee as Bert and Stan from Scottish Borders Council, clearing away another local eyesore. We'll be getting another award-winning musical treat from our DHRC house band in just a minute. But before that, it's Miller's time.
Yes, it's Miller's time.
Time for pile cream,
Castor oil,
lubricant jelly,
antiseptic,
wet wipes,
chimney brushes,
leaf blowers,
mint imperials,
jodhpurs,
hacking jackets,
thick socks,
leather trim,
loafers,
sofas,
rotors,
boulders,
poultry,
sheep dip,
cheese dip,
guacamole,
those little crackers that melt on your tongue like communion wafers,
saddlebags,
long rubber hoses,
nasal drainage tubes,
strain gauges,
barbed wire,
fence posts,
concrete,
rear ends,
horse pill,
crack ointment,
waxing strips,
bikinis,
zucchini,
paninis,
beanies,
tahini,
fellini.
tortellini,
Really?
currently out of stock,
Oh, thought so.
castanets,
GPS.
and terracotta figurines.
It has to be Miller's.
Yes, it has to be Miller's. Miller's of Peebles, where you'll find everything you expect and quite a bit that you didn't. If you thought you couldn't buy something that does that, have a look in Miller's. If it goes in, on, or around, if it cuts, clips, crimps, collects, or conveys, there's a good chance you'll find it around the back at Miller's. If it needs inserting, extracting, inflating, bagging, or simply adjusting to fit, our friendly staff will soon put you straight. For all your lubrication, embrocation, and prophylaxis, it has to be Miller's of Peebles, and other places as well.
Our DHRC house band members get regular servicing up there at Miller's at Peebles, so they're currently well oiled and ready to go. They're on stage now with Exactly Like You.
I know why I've waited, know why I've been blue, praying each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one plays those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so grand, I want to give the world to you. You need to understand each foolish dream I'm dreaming is dream on screen. I know why my mother taught me to be true. She meant me for someone exactly like you. I know why I've been blue, pray each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one plays those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so glad, I want to give the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little scheme I'm scheming, dream on dream. Now I know my mother taught me to be true. She meant me for someone exactly like you.
offices of Bobby Barr, private detective. Missing wives and wayward husbands, corrupt officials and just plain old dirty dealings. He's seen it all. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, call into the offices of Bobby Barr. Cash in advance, expenses are extra, and don't call on a Wednesday afternoon if you know what's good for you.
I was on Edinburgh Road heading north. I was following the trail of a series of cancelled property leases on Peebles High Street when I had a lucky break. Whoever closed down Miss Amber's gift shop left an egg on the windowsill in the back room. A few phone calls were enough to confirm a suspicious pattern. 4 high street shops closed in as many months, and all of them leased back out to a mysterious new tenant. A hunch told me that my old enemy, Johnny the Chicken Man, had something to do with it.
In half a mile, turn left.
The Chicken Man's got a property empire as big as Texas, but I knew I could find him at his remote fortress up there in the Leadburn Moor. With the incriminating egg in one pocket and an automatic in the other, I was ready for anything.
Turn left.
I pulled up at the heavily fortified gates and pressed the intercom button. I'm here to see the boss. Is he in? No appointment. I'm from the Honours Committee. We're considering a second knighthood. I went up along the long driveway, past huge metal sheds like aircraft hangars. Feathers floated in the wind like cigarette ash. The place smelled like the back of my wardrobe. I parked the car out of sight and walked up to the reception desk. The Chicken Man was already waiting for me.
Bobby Barr, what's all this about? They told me you were from the Honours Committee. You don't look like a civil servant.
What does a civil servant look like?
Well, not like that, anyway. How long have you had that coat?
Belonged to my mother. Now listen, Johnny, my client's shop lease got cancelled and I think you had something to do with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, who's your client?
That's confidential.
I bet it was that gift shop woman, wasn't it?
So you...
I knew she was trouble.
You do know something about it.
Aha, so it is her. You can't pin anything on me, Barr.
I reached slowly into my coat pocket. I saw 2 of the Chicken Man's thugs move towards me and draw their pistols, but he waved his hand and they backed off. I took out the egg. Recognise this, Johnny?
It's an egg. So what?
I found it in one of these shops, along with bird cages and feathers. I know it's you. What are you up to in the Peebles High Street?
All right, you might as well know. You're not getting out of here alive anyway. These boys will make sure you process a chicken feed before the end of the day.
Chicken feed's my livelihood, Johnny, and I wouldn't be so sure about that. So go on. Why all that shop leases? What's going on?
My latest planning application for a chicken shed got knocked back last month. I thought staging a Tory coup on the council would guarantee me whatever I wanted. Well, they've gone all moral on me, wanting contributions to schools and roads. So instead I'm taking over all the shops along Peebles High Street and turning them all into one big chicken shed. There's nothing illegal about what I'm doing, Barry. You can't stop me. And nor can that gift shop woman.
You won't get away with this, Johnny.
It's Sir Johnny to you, Bar. And who's going to stop me? You?
I'll tell you who's going to stop you. Queen Elizabeth II.
Ah, what are you talking about?
I've left a sealed envelope in a safe deposit box to be sent to Her Majesty the Queen in the event of my mysterious death or disappearance.
What's in it?
Enough clues for her to piece together what you're up to on the high street. I don't think your precious knighthood will last long once she finds out.
Why? What does she care about Peebles High Street shops?
Come on, John. Where do you think Her Majesty gets her best shoes from, huh? Roger, of course. Where do you think she gets her steak pies from? Forsyth's, of course. You may not advertise her loyal warrants, but everyone knows that the best meat and the best shoes come from the Peebles High Street.
You're bluffing, Bar. I don't believe a word of it.
Oh, no? Take a look at this photograph.
What? What am I looking at here? A queue of people outside a butcher's shop. So what?
Look again. There, towards the back of the queue, Small woman, headscarf, elegant shoes.
But it can't be, she would. But it is. Now I take a closer look, it's her, it really is her!
I walked back to the car with my hand holding the gun in my pocket, but no one stopped or tried to turn me into a chicken feed. In exchange for my silence, the chicken man agreed to drop his plan, hand back the leases to the shops and contribute £500,000 for schools and road improvements. Back at the office, I put in a call to Miss Gift to tell her the good news.
Hello?
Miss Gift, it's Bobby Barr. You'll be pleased to know you've got the lease back in your gift shop.
That's wonderful news, Mr. Barr. I don't know how I can ever repay you.
Actually, I've got a couple of suggestions.
The thing is, Mr. Barr, I've decided to move away from Peebles.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Yes, and you see, I've unexpectedly come into some money and I'm going to open a high-class restaurant in Olethen, specialising in French omelettes, pancakes, quiches and other egg-based products.
Is that so? An egg-based restaurant?
It's the latest thing in catering. Look, I've got to go now. Thanks for everything, Mr. Barr.
Don't mention it. I put the phone down and stared out the window. It was raining again, and I wondered if I could make it across the roads to Greg's without getting drenched. Then I thought, what the hell? I headed out for a sausage roll and a cigarette.
Hi, above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the Old Beaches building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, Private Detective. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, you know who to call. Tune in again next time for another thrilling adventure with Bobby Barr, Private Detective.
The Adventures of Bobby Barr, brought to you by Robert Barr, Douglas Roberts and Steve Lee, and special guest Karen Graham as Miss Amber Gift. Let's sweep away all these cigarette butts now with some music from our DHRC house band. What was it that made Milwaukee famous again?
It's late, and she's been waiting, and oh, I should go home, but every time I start to leave, they play another song, then someone buys another round, and every drink comes free. What made Milwaukee famous has made a fool out of me. Baby begged me not to go so many times before. She said love and happiness can't live behind those swinging doors. Now she's gone, and I'm to blame, too late. I finally see what made Milwaukee famous has made a fool out of me. Baby begged me not to go so many times before. She said love and happiness can't live behind those swinging doors. Now she's gone, and I'm to blame, too late. I finally see what made Milwaukee famous has made a fool out of me. What made Milwaukee famous has made a loser
DHRC house band making Milwaukee famous, along with every other city that they visit. We're heading towards the end of our small-town summer sarsaparilla show for this evening, and so with a sense of relief tinged with existential dread, we go over for the final time this evening to our special correspondent, Chick Fowl, who's been visiting the town of Walkerburn for reasons best known to himself. Let's see what he's got to say for himself this time. Chick, are you there?
Why, yes, ma'am. I'll have the salmon with the roast leek below it. Yeah, followed by the loin of venison. Yeah. And carrot salsify with a juniper juice. Pardon? Oh, pre-dinner canapes. Oh, well, I think so, don't you? Sounds lovely.
Chick, are you there?
Oh, shh, I'll be with you in a minute, Robert. I'm in a really classy restaurant.
Oh, well, you've left Walkerburn then?
No, I'm still here, and keep your voice down, will you? Somebody might complain. I'm one of the most classy hotels in the whole of the Borders, about to eat some of their award-winning food.
What?
I'm in the Windle Straw Hotel, and it's still in Walkerburn. You got that, Robert? One of the most classy hotels in the Borders, and it's in Walkerburn.
I think we've got the budget for this.
Yeah, here comes my pre-dinner canapes.
But Walkerburn's a dump, Chick.
Keep it down, will you, Robert? No, that wasn't me. No, I didn't say that. That was my loony colleague back there in Peebles. No, I never said Walkerburn was a dump. I think it's a fine place.
Chick, hello? Where is that idiot? Have you gone AWOL on me? Are you back in the pissoir?
No, I'm not. It's far too smelly. What? No, I never said this place was smelly. I meant the pissoir. And I never said Walkerburn is a dump. Oh, just give us a break, will you? What? Well, okay. It seems I've been asked to leave, Robert, due in no small part from you. Just as I was really enjoying myself. Do you realize I'm the food and drink correspondent, don't you?
So, for the last time.
Yeah, this is Chick Fowl saying, check out Walkerburn. Oh, Waterburn.
Where's that?
Yeah, it's close by.
Yorkshire.
There's more to it than a drive-through would suggest. I'm going to come back soon and go on one of their new walking tours. So, this is Chick Fowl checking out.
Hello? Chick? He's gone for good this time. Chick Fowl checking out there from the Windle Straw Hotel in Walkerburn. Thank you very much. It's nearly the end of our show for this evening, so let's get our DHRC house band up on stage for an old classic, La Bamba.
No compro de gracia,
La Bamba, bringing us to the end of our show for this evening. You've been listening to the Small Town Summer Sarsaparilla Show, broadcasting live from the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. Live on stage tonight is our award-winning DHRC house band, Shoris Ashby on guitar and vocals. Henry Taylor is our band manager and bass maestro. Alice Ray plucking the strings in the corner there. And in the other corner, new boy Alan Graham hitting the drums for us this evening. Warm welcome, Alan. Jane Gregg brought us those sweet and soaring fiddle sounds tonight. And on the accordion over there, Gordon Deans. Now, Gordon also played in our election special show at the Tontine Hotel back in June. Boy, doesn't that seem a long time ago. And he didn't get a name check, so an extra big hand for Gordon Deans, please. And on the microphones tonight, the unmistakable voice talents of Henry White, Karen Graham, and Patsy Gemmell.
And let's not forget our Royal Company of Radio Actors, once again bringing you the very latest happenings in Peebles and around the world. The many faces of Sir Robert Barr of Manor. Hey! The enigmatic Douglas Roberts with live sound effects and a firm hand on the tiller. And everything else from yours truly, Steve Lee. And our special guests this evening were rising stars Sam Horbury and the seductive Karen Graham as Miss Amber Gift.
The DHRC script is hastily written the night before the show by Steve Lee and Douglas Roberts. Recordings of this and past shows are available on our SoundCloud page. Videos of the show are right there on YouTube, and you can find everything to do with the DHRC, including links to those recordings, on our website, downrighthomespun.co.uk. Don't forget to like our Facebook page to receive updates about upcoming shows.
And finally, our stage manager and photographer is Anthony Newton, with stagehands Scott Boak and John Small. Our sound and lighting engineer is Richard Hogg back there, and the sound effects this evening were expertly dispensed by pharmacist Alan Taylor up there in the sound booth. Our thanks, as always, to the Eastgate Theatre, Nomad Beat for rehearsal space, and the Peeblesshire News for constant inspiration and comedy gold.
All the proceeds of DHRC shows go to the DHRC Creative Fund, which gives grants to local young people to pursue artistic activities of all sorts. You can get more details about our grant scheme from our website, and the next deadline for applications is the end of November this year. Thank you once again to our loyal and enthusiastic DHRC studio audience here in the auditorium of the Grand Ol Eastgate Theatre. We're on again tomorrow evening, so if some of your friends have missed out on the fun, do encourage them to come along tomorrow evening. I believe that there are still a few tickets available for tomorrow night's show. Or if you missed anything, do come again tomorrow night. We'll be back with our traditional Americana Christmas show on December the 15th and 16th this year. Tickets are already on sale and they sell out very quickly, so please don't miss out. That's our show for this evening. Our house band is back on stage now to play us out with You Never Can Tell, C'est la Vie.
You can see the
music bell. C'est la vie, c'est the old bones. It goes to show you never can tell.
Thank you and good night.
Taught me how to look real bad and cry myself to sleep. Showed me how this town can shine. Now the lesson by the night fool came to Babylon. Found out that the pie don't taste so sweet. Well, it's guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, lonely, lonely streets that I call home. Guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Ain't no glamour in this tinsel land, the lost and lonely lives, painful scars and all that's left to me. I wanna thank you, girl, for teaching me brand new ways to be cruel. Like that fine, now I guess I'll just leave. Guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, lonely, lonely streets that I call home. Guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me hanging on. Guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly music, lonely, lonely streets that I call home. Yes, my guitars, Cadillacs, hillbilly